What's up, y'all? Welcome to What's Happening with Carolina Chuck. Please, please, please hit that like and subscribe button wherever you're listening for more content like this. Today we're going to talk to the public information officer from the York County Sheriff's Department, Mr. Trent Faris.
And this she is swinging my hands, singing and dancing, singing you the man. And this she was, now I got her hooked, asking about the hotel.
Hold on to your butt.
You know what you need is some of that hysterical respect. Know what I mean?
We ain't one at a time in here. We're mass communicating. Oh, yeah. That's a powerful new force. Take it in, Junior.
All right. So I'm going to tell you real quick how I ran across you.
Okay.
It was, so when I moved back down here, I started, following the sheriff's department and everything because I had a lot of friends up north that were police officers. My dad was a sheriff's deputy too.
Okay.
And I ran across a live you were doing at the QT in off Carolina's Boulevard.
Okay.
There was a shooting or something, and it was very professional, but it was kind of
Messed up.
funny how you did it though. Yeah, it was. I mean, I was entertained. I couldn't look. It wasn't like
I've done a couple at the QT, so
Yeah.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
it was probably.
Was it at nighttime or
it
daytime?
was at nighttime.
Okay, then I know which one of the ones you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't really know what was all going on, but I was like, who is this guy? Because it was very professional, very well spoken, and funny, but not like meant to be funny. I guess, but it was great. So what I was going to ask you, I guess we'll start off. How long have you been with the sheriff's department?
13 years, going on 14. I've been there since June of 2012.
Wow.
And thanks to former sheriff Bruce Bryant, he got me into this position because I used to work in television a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah, I started my whole entire career working at WBTV in Charlotte.
Really?
Yeah.
That's one of the sales guys in here said, yeah, I think he thought you were in TV or something.
Yeah,
before.
I only worked there for 7 years, but and really only 5 years on air. And
Really? You were on air?
Yeah. I
What
was
were
the
you
reporter for South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so but because of that and I was the reporter for South Carolina, and I would go to the sheriff's office every Tuesday and Thursday to check reports back when they had reports on this little notebook pad.
Okay.
And on every Thursday, all the command staff and all the lieutenants and all the people who were important would walk by, and I would make friends.
Yeah.
And I would say hi to the sheriff and all the people who were in charge. And one day, and it was, I'll tell you because I tell everybody, I just was not happy working there. It was just an environment I didn't want to work in. I had young children, and it was pulling me far, far away from them. And one night, I just told my wife, I said, if something were to fall into my lap, if the Lord was to put something in my lap,
Yeah.
tomorrow, I'm going to take it, even if it's like digging ditches at the landfill in York County. I'm just done with this. And my birthday's in March, and it was about the same time frame as my birthday. And Sheriff Bryant called me up, and I'll never forget it. It was, yes, sir, Sheriff, how are you? It's like,
Yeah.
hey, what do you think about becoming my PIO? Just like that.
Wow.
And I talked to the Major Hudgens, right, shortly after that in an email because I think they didn't talk or something.
Yeah.
and that's how it started. I had to go through a whole process, and I have not looked back. It has been the greatest thing I've ever done in my life, and it is hands down my purpose in life to do this job.
Wow.
It's hard to tell when people say, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in life. And when you find it, you know it, and you don't want to let go of it.
So your responsibility is to be the in-between with the sheriff's department and the public.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Public information. Try to, educate the public on things that are crime-related or things that are happening really right now that it's emergency-related. And,
Right.
Sometimes that could be good. Sometimes that could be bad. But most of the time we try to inform and educate the public on crime trends and things that are going on that can help protect them and keep themselves safe. A a lot of people sometimes don't like the way we do things. I mean, you can have people complain about traffic all the time. And
Right.
I mean, our traffic unit right now is just of 3 guys and a couple of part-time deputies who work traffic part-time, and it's just not enough. So thankfully, Sheriff Breeden is doing a lot now to get that under, more people into the traffic unit and do all that. But I mean, that's our number one complaint, so I talk about it all the time.
Oh, yeah. So what are all your outlets that you use? I mean, I see you're huge on social media.
We have
on
them
Facebook.
all. We have them all. If it's a social media page, we're probably on it. I even have Truth Social.
Oh, wow.
We don't put anything on it.
I was thinking about downloading that. I was like, I keep hearing about them. I don't know, but
I have not posted one thing on it for the sheriff's office.
Right.
Because one, it's just, that's not our main outlet to get information to. But I didn't want somebody going and getting our handle on Truth Social and start putting something out there.
Right.
And there's a new app out there called Blue Sky. It's got the guy who invented Twitter before it was X.
Really?
He went off and started a new Twitter, but it's instead of a bird, it's like a butterfly now. So it's really weird. I have it. Haven't posted anything on it, but I've got it. So we have it. The agency does.
So how does that work you day to day though? Like you get how does the information come to you?
One, every morning we get an intel bulletin from our criminal intelligence unit that says everything that happened overnight or in the 24-hour period.
So
it's pretty detailed. We don't give that out to the public, but everybody can go on our website and look up the daily activity report.
Oh, so they post
and you can
that
see
to the
everything that has been reported in a 24-hour period. And
I got this Newsbreak app, and I'm getting like dispatch from Clover. Like I don't know how that happened, but I'm getting like real dispatches of stuff happening.
So you're talking about the scanner apps that you can hear everything?
I guess so. Like it was called Newsbreak or something, and I downloaded it years ago, and now I'm getting like really crazy stuff. But
yeah, the scanner apps are not our friend. I can tell you that because I mean. People listen to him religiously. I go to a church with a guy. He's really great, but he sits there. Man, I heard y'all going out on that call the other day. And I'm like, which one, Glenn?
Right.
He goes, oh, that one where the canine call. So which one, Glenn?
Right.
But sometimes people get on there and they think when lights and sirens and whatever's going on, they get on there. They don't understand what's really going on. I guess this is just an opinion, but to just Joe and Jane citizen riding around on the road when seeing a whole bunch of police cars going lights and sirens, they think the world's blowing up.
Right.
It's not necessarily the world blowing up. It's how we get there quicker than just driving through the.
It is kind of freaky, man. I ain't gonna lie.
It is, and we do our best to try to tell people what's going on. Sometimes by the time I get ready to post something, it's over. Let everybody know. And we do a really good job on our Facebook, X, and Instagram. And, I mean, those are our main 3 that we use to tell people what's going on. If you ever see police activity, that means it's something that everybody needs to know.
Wow.
And I always go by the philosophy of people should, if you see blue lights, everybody wonders, how is that going to affect my life? Not necessarily that they're gossip hound. They just want to know, I got to drive that way in about 10 minutes. How am I not going to get to go through there? How am I? Is somebody that they're down there with those blue lights running through my yard?
Hey,
that kind of stuff.
That happened last night to me. I was in Lake Wiley, and one of my wife's friends texted her and said that there was a lot of police or something on the road over here, and that's the way I was going to go. I was like, I'm not going to go that way, but I've no reason to get involved in anything that's going on that way, so I took another route. But that's crazy.
That's all we try to tell everybody what we can when we can. I mean, I'm a man of one. I have a part-time digital media specialist, but she only works 3 hours a week, and she's contract. And she can't get more than 25 hours a week.
Wow,
and I just got we just hired her, and she's doing a phenomenal job. Some of the videos and stuff you've seen lately, she's been doing, and I keep telling her, work.
Yes.
So they can see that we need you.
Yes.
I need you.
Yes, that's awesome.
But yeah, we try to do as much as we can. A lot of people don't like certain things we do, and that's just par for the course. And people say, "Wow, did you see that comment?" I just don't read the comments anymore. Now, unless it's in a legitimate question that somebody says has somebody who's just spouting off rhetoric and just anger, I'm just not going to read it. But if you have a legitimate question, I'm going to do my best to try to answer it. I'm not going to answer it in that open forum because that's a question you answered. Yeah. I will try to attempt to message you. But sometimes people's Facebook pages are locked down and you can't really message. That's why we ask people to like and follow our page so we can have that kind of connection.
Right. And is there any, has there been crimes been helped you solve off of, people commenting or anything?
All the time. Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Gosh,
I know
ever
that
since we started,
Yeah.
When I first got here, Sheriff Bryant was no social media.
Okay.
And I happened to show him a video from Philadelphia where it went social media and police was in its infancy.
That was probably smart on his part.
Yeah, and I when I was in news, that's how I did it. I was a one-man band here, and I filmed and wrote and edited all my stories, and usually how I would get people to watch those stories was to get on. I used to have a Trent Faris at WBTV Facebook page, and so I'd get I don't have it anymore, but I used to say, hey, go watch the story tonight at 5, blah, blah, blah. So I knew it was a good avenue to get people to get the information. I didn't know how powerful it was until later on, but I knew that was something the sheriff's office needed. And there was other agencies in the area, like York PD was using it, and I want to say a couple other. I can't remember which, but I know York PD was using it. So I got to the office in June, and it took until October for Sheriff Bryant to say, okay, do it. And I had to give him a nice presentation. Yeah. And so I showed him a video of Philadelphia where there was some surveillance video of a man kidnapping a little girl, like grabbing her up off the street, just like you would see the, like stranger danger videos from the 80s. Yeah. Like he grabbed her up off the street and she was fighting and kicking, and then she got away because her brother, intervened and got her away from him. So they posted that on their social media pages. They said, hey, who is this guy? Help us find him. Right. And the guy said he could not breathe, he could not eat, he could not sleep, and did not leave his apartment. And he turned himself in because he knew that everybody knew who he was, and he was going to get caught anyway. So, I showed him that. He goes, oh, okay, let's get on board with this. And we've done social media ever since.
It seems like it's a major tool because I've seen, you've seen people post that same thing, like police departments post, this person, whatever, wanted or whatever. And Clover did it one time, and I actually recognized somebody in that.
You would be surprised.
Yeah, but they had already blown it up and everything. They knew what was going on. But I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like, it really, because people get stuff. People get stolen and stuff. Like it was a big thing up north, like the package thieves and stuff. They were posting their pictures of these people all the time, just stealing crap.
We do porch pirates. We do trailer thefts. We do shopliftings big time. We try to do it. I mean, if you look on our page, we try to post as many crimes that we can find. And now people get angry with us about missing persons cases or runaways or something like that because it's funny. One of our detectives, he's a lieutenant now, told me when he was a detective, he said, man, Trent, you are a tool. I was like, what do you mean, man? No, I don't mean it that way. I mean, you help us solve things when we've run out of all the leads. And it may be a week or two before they send me a bulletin and say, hey, can you put this on social media? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And there's times when people have seen themselves, like missing people or runaways. Really? And say, oh, the runaways will go home because they saw themselves
on your posts
or Instagram or anything like that. And then the missing people will call in. It's like, I'm old enough to be gone. Yeah, I want to be missing. I'm okay. Stop looking for me. That kind of stuff. Wow. And so we also use our website with all that stuff. And same concept. We try to put as much information out on our website for people to get to, and hopefully, cross your fingers, I'm researching getting an app for your phone so you can just sit there and because 97% of all people in the world have a smartphone,
Right.
and they scroll on it. I went to Rwanda in Africa this past summer on a mission trip with my church.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And there was
I saw that on your
there's a
page.
bunch of people that had smartphones that had houses that were as small as like this little square we're sitting in,
Really?
and they had a smartphone. Yeah, it was wild.
Wow.
Hard to put food on your table, but they had smartphones because that was a way they can contact people and get around and everything.
Wow. I mean, and it's almost like I was just talking to somebody. Just a little bit off topic, but it's about smartphones and social media, and maybe you haven't really thought about this, but to me, I'm looking at like Facebook, social media stuff as like an almost. I don't want to say evolution, but I want to say like the word evolution because of how we hand information down. I mean, think about this. Your great grandchildren are going to know how you felt and talked. And,
Yes.
And like, I'm talking about way down the road, they're going to be able to see their great grandparents grow up. You know, they're going to be able to go through like their whole life, and
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's crazy. Like, could you imagine being able to know what your great grandparents done? You know?
I would love it. When I graduated from Winthrop in Rock Hill, and my minor was in history, so I have a little bit of a love for history.
Yeah.
And so I have tackled with one of our detectives, Linnell Day, trying to gather all the information of all the sheriffs, because Sheriff Bryant started it.
Yeah.
Because he was like, who was sheriff before me? And he only knew like a handful that were before him. And he wanted to know like all the way back. And so Sheriff John Hawthorne, who fought at Kings Mountain, was our first sheriff.
No
in
way.
1786. And so, but we knew that, and we knew Sheriff Bryant and a couple other ones.
Yeah.
So we went digging, and he went digging, got all the names. And so Linnell and I are trying to find things, trying to get some more information. It's so hard. We have about a 90-year gap of zero information. We have their name, but we have nothing that they did or whatever, you know. So but information was
yeah, I mean,
so hard to come by back then.
It's cool because you think about it. We're literally starting a database of people, generational. I don't know. I just thought about this.
I would love it.
Yeah, it's super cool.
I mean,
but I was going to say
300 years from now, I'd like my great grandchildren to see what I look like, sound like, and acted.
And
he doesn't look a thing like me, or something like that.
But I was going to say my dad was he was a deputy for York County.
Okay,
and so he was the chief of police in Great Falls, South Carolina, when I was born. And he ended up coming to Clover, going to the mountains or something, and he fell in love with Clover. And he moved us up here, and he was a captain, I think, at Clover, and then he went to York County, and he was friends with George Eaton, the sheriff.
Oh yeah,
and I remember being a little kid going out and like putting up George Eaton signs because he ran for sheriff. Well, anyways, when he got in, my dad got laid off with some of the other deputies. I mean, I think it was Bryant that came in after him. Maybe?
No, it was Mitchell, Sheriff Mitchell.
Okay, whatever the sheriff was, came to my house one night, invited him to, try to get him to come back, but he ended up getting his water license. He ended up retiring as the plant manager of the wastewater treatment plant. But yeah, dude, we used to hang out with George Eaton over at his house and stuff when we were kids. But yeah, that's when he left. And
George Eaton was in office for only 4 years, and he had a good go of it. They were in the construction phase of the Moss Justice Center.
Yeah.
The sheriff's office used to be off of Cherry Road, South Cherry Road in Rock Hill.
Oh, really?
Near where the York County Natural Gas is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right next door to where our District 3 office is. And they used to be the old Army Guard unit building. But yeah, that's where it used to be, and so until they came here. So Sheriff Eaton went from there to the Moss Justice Center. We lost Brent McCants underneath his when he was as sheriff.
Yes.
So
that's
in
the
4 years,
right?
he had a pretty rough 4 years.
Go at it. Yeah, my dad knew that guy. And that's the statue, correct?
No, the statue is just a memorial. It's no
Oh,
real
okay.
person. It's just there as
I thought that had
all
something to do
police
with that.
officers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but tell me about your Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Rwanda, yeah.
So I am a member of Neely's Creek ARP Church in Leslie Catawba area. Been going there my entire life, except for when we lived off on the other side of town for a couple of years.
Now you're in Rock Hill,
I live in Catawba.
Catawba. I lived in Catawba, North Carolina.
Oh yeah,
We got something in common.
Catawba, South Carolina. My family's lived there forever.
Wow.
For hundreds of years, and 100 more years.
Yeah.
And so I go there, and they've been going. There's always has been a team going to Rwanda for about maybe 12 years, and one of our staff members actually married a man from Rwanda on her trip to Rwanda. Well, not on that particular trip. He was like one of the translators on her trip. And they, you know how things work. They fall in love and get married, whatever. So they started going to Rwanda every year. My wife and I were always interested in going to Rwanda, but we had little kids. It cost a bunch of money to go to Rwanda.
And then time out of work, making more money.
2 weeks. They say, hey, I remember asking the major when I was Major Fred Moore. I said, hey, is it okay to take 2 weeks off in a row? Can I take my vacation? I got enough vacation. Can I take 2 in a row? He goes, yeah, it's fine. So it's like, okay. And so, but it took a good bit of getting some money to go. Some people gave us some donations to go with, and I always joke around. I do some overtime work, and one of those places is in Captain Steve's in Fort Mill, and I always joke because every week I
used to go there because I used to work at one of the stair companies over there.
Yeah.
I'd be there once a week. We'd get that for the office.
So I work that overtime job sometimes, like maybe once or twice a month, and every time I take that money and I just throw it in a jar, save it up, everything. I just save it up, and I always joke, it's like, this Rwanda trip's brought to you by Captain Steve's. But anyway, I mean, we went, and it was really great. We were there for 2 weeks. We spent about a week in Kigali. That's the main big city in Rwanda. We got to go to the Genocide Memorial Museum there to see why, like how the country is becoming such a modern and hospitable city, but after a tragic, terrible time in their history. I mean, you go into this museum and they won't let you take pictures of it because you go in here and learn the history of why it happened, how it happened, when it happened, and how they recovered from it. And then you go down in this little thing, and it's full of bones, skulls, of people who died, like with crushed skulls, stab wounds in the head, gunshot wounds in the head, that kind of stuff.
What a freaking crazy thing.
It was awful. And then there is a very wealthy part of Rwanda, and then there is a very, very poor part of Rwanda. And we went and spoke to a lot of the families that are sponsors of the Reach the Children of Rwanda International. That's the group that we went there with or for in conjunction with. And we went up to the mountains about 8,000 feet above sea level at the equator, and it was colder than it has been this week.
Wow.
It was chilly. But the school there is in Nyabahu, the Nyabahu district. And it's Reach the Children, RCRI, Nyabahu Christian Academy in there.
So you're going to see the children there? Okay.
And we did a VBS, just like you would have VBS here in the summer.
Really?
And it's same concept, just a little different because you had to have some translators for the kids to understand what you were saying. But we did games. We played a game. We played Limbo. We played Limbo with these kids, and they had no idea what Limbo was.
Wow.
And you would see them. They would say you were at the Limbo. You're the Limbo bar, and I'm the front of the line of the kids, and these kids are starting to bend back way back here, trying to bend back to go underneath a bar that's like 10 feet in front of them. So it was just fun.
Yeah.
But the school is self-sustainable. They have 1,000 chickens, trying to get 2,000 chickens because
Really?
the kids only get like 1 egg a week to eat, and porridge and cabbage and everything. Nutrition is the
Major
hard.
thing.
It's major over there, but they do what they can to up their nutrition so they can do better in school. Matter of fact, one of the kids that we sponsored, his name is Christian Ashima, and he started out as a student there, and now he looks like a teenager you see running around town here because of the school. And I coached football at Rock Hill High for 2 seasons, and I had a hat from there, and I gave it to him, and I see him now, in pictures of him wearing that hat.
No way.
Yeah, and it's just amazing. I'm a father of 3 girls, and I kind of I finally got a son that's like thousands and thousands of miles away.
Dude.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
That is cool.
And he's 17, and he plans on going to school for something computers. I don't know, data entry or something like that. I don't know. Coding, I think. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So, what was the trip over there like? How long did that take?
The flight was, it was an hour and a half to go to Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. to Brussels was about 8.5. No, it was 7, and then we got to Brussels, had to go from Brussels to Kigali, and that was about an 8-9 hour flight. So it took forever. That was, I would say, if you asked me what was the worst part of the trip, I was like, the flight, getting there. Africa is a long way away.
So what all did you eat over there? Anything cool?
I fell in love with African coffee. Now, I love coffee to start with, right?
Yeah.
I'm a coffee junkie, and good, really interesting story. I always tell people this. I had coffee with my pastor over at Amelie's in Rock Hill one week. Mm-hmm. And we were just sitting there, and it was just like a French press, and it was just like, and the best cup of coffee I probably have had in a long time, or if not my life. I was like, this is the best coffee ever.
Wow.
But after that, I even went back, tried to get the French press, didn't taste the same, whatever. I could not get that. So I kept hunting for it. I'd buy all the coffees from stores, anything to try to find that same flavor of coffee. I had to go all the way to Rwanda and find it. Because we were in, the house we stayed in, there was a cook. Yeah. It was almost like vacation because the guy who was, in the house, the family that I go to church with, JP Dushime, he has a house that he built on the land that he lived there. Like his family had a farm there, and so he and his brother and sister and he own homes there. And then there's houses all around them because they sold it off over time. Mm-hmm. But there was somebody who was there to cook meals for us, so we didn't have to worry about all that because it's really weird for Americans to go try to find groceries in Rwanda and try to cook for yourself.
That's kind of what I was trying to get that. What was that like?
Man, it's just like I told him we're having a meeting this Saturday, and I told him, as long as you're going to have chapatis and African coffee or African tea, I'm there. And it's not just it's coffee.
Yeah.
But African coffee has like cardamom, ginger, and milk in it. And you might think that sounds gross. And you might not. I
don't even know what the first thing was. What's a cardamom?
I don't know. Cardamom? I don't know. That's the spice that's in it.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't even know what that is.
But cinnamon was in it or something like that. It was great. And I'm not much of, I drink tea, like iced tea, sweet tea, that kind of thing. But it was like this milk tea that they had over there. It's the same thing with ginger in it. The ginger gives that little spice to it because everything's hot.
Right.
So, but I don't know. It's so much, and I don't want to give them a shout out because I don't know if I'm supposed to sponsor people on this.
That's fine, man.
You can't get it in America.
Yeah.
It's Gorilla's coffee, little baby gorilla on the yellow package.
Wow.
And I love it. I think I'm just rambling now.
No, that's cool. I'm going to tell you something crazy. When I told you I went to New York for a little while. I went up there on a vacation first, right? We went up there on a little summer vacation. Then we got invited to stay. And I'm like, I'm not coming to New York, and I'm leaving. I crossed the border. I'm driving back. I crossed the border into Pennsylvania, and I stopped at this place called Tim Hortons. And I got a coffee, and I started sipping it. It was hot, really hot, but I needed it because I'm driving. Yeah. And I'm getting on the highway. I'm like, golly, man, this is good. Yeah. And then wheels started spinning. Maybe I can't come to New York, And then by the time I made it back I was living in North Carolina then. By the time I made it back down there, I decided, yeah, we're probably gonna go back. We're gonna try it out. We'll check it out. Because what we did was we moved like an hour north into North Carolina. We were already kind of away from everybody, so it wasn't. We were in Catawba, North Carolina, so it's like really
it's where
small
the
place.
Headwaters of the Catawba River.
Yes,
That's
yes.
why it's Catawba.
But anyway, so we were like, we could check out New York for a while. My wife, I made friends pretty quick, but But let me jump back into the
man,
share.
sorry.
No. Coffee is important.
Coffee's important. Rwanda's great.
Yeah.
The most hospitable people there. The children, I mean, I did tell you they have some, not all, have cell phones. But I watched a group of kids play with a paper airplane, and they thought it was the greatest toy of their entire life.
Wow. I bet that's
kid
amazing
with a stick
to see.
and a bicycle tire.
Wow.
Thought it was the greatest toy of their entire life. And I was like, we have it so well here in America.
Yeah.
And when you complain about the things going on here, go live in Africa.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm telling you.
I mean,
I'm telling you, man. It is a different culture. Like, I was just talking to Ray Mercer. He was going to do a podcast with me. Ended up having to go to Africa. Oh. And then we finally did one. He was telling me a little bit about Africa himself, and it seems kind of. I like to go on a safari or something.
We did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did. I mean, it was one of the benefits of going. We paid for that.
Right.
We went to the eastern part of Rwanda where it's the savannah area, and the western part is the mountains and the volcanic. And that school basically is sitting on an old lava field. Yeah. So, but that's good, rich soil that they have. Anyway, we did go on a safari. We got to see lions. There's they call it the Big Five: elephants, hippos, rhinos, lions, and cheetahs. We saw 4 out of the 5, and we didn't see cheetahs because apparently cheetahs are very nocturnal. You may see them early in the evening.
You saw lions roaming around.
Well, they're nocturnal. They hunt at night, but we did see them sitting laying in a tree, like on a branch, very far away, from here to across the road over here.
Just seeing a real lion with my own eyes would be crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, and it was you could barely see it. I saw ear. It was probably a female lion. Wasn't like a big mane or anything, but I saw the ears sticking up, and I was like, "Hey, is that a lion over there?" And the tour guide, who's clearly from there and trained to identify these animals, he goes, "Man, you saw it. Hey, good job."
So maybe I saw a
that
cheetah.
is. So he said that's a really. I mean, it was a lion. We saw one there, 2 and 3 were in this tree, just hanging.
That's crazy.
I don't know, it was a tree.
I did this boxing match, right, and I was I did not have enough time to get super physically ready for it. So I just pumped my mind with motivation. I've been watching a lot of lion videos and stuff. And so I'm like, I'd like to see a lion in the wild,
They're pretty lazy during the day from what they do.
Well, that's when I want to see them. I ain't trying to see those things on 4 legs.
But we saw them all. We actually had about a 30-minute standoff with 2 black rhinos that just walked out in the middle of the road, and our little bus was riding up, and they were like, "Oh no, those are the white rhinos. They're the ones that are not so aggressive." And then we get a little bit closer. He goes, "Whoa, those are black rhinos. We need to wait until they leave." And it was just us. And if I could show you, I don't have my phone with me. I do it in my pocket. I'd show you later.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's pretty great,
dude. That's awesome. All right, so let's jump back to the sheriff's department, man. So you got anything cool coming up? Because I saw you did a job fair video not too long ago or something like that.
So our biggest need right now is detention officers. And so we are having we're having a job fair for detention officers. We do it every quarter in October. It'll be October 1st of this year, and it's at the Moss Justice Center, but it's not at the main facility. It's all the way in the back.
You need detention officers.
Yes.
All right, so I got friends in New York. Their governor shut down a bunch of.
Come on down.
Yeah, they shut down a bunch of daggum prisons, and there were a lot of my good customers.
You can pass a background check and all the things we have to check on.
I mean, that's what they did in New York professionally. Did well. So maybe they hear this because I got some New York listeners. And but yeah, go ahead.
I can't tell you how many we need because it comes with a security risk.
Right.
But we could really use
I'm sure
it.
they'd give you a call before they
people
came.
People blame us for having a bad work environment. Of course, nobody wants to work in a jail. It's not you don't grow up as a kid in elementary school saying, I don't want to work in a jail when I grow up, So it is a really, really good job. And those guys and gals down there are really tight-knit. But some people just can't deal with the pressure of having 40 to 70 people stare at you all day.
Yeah.
And that's all they get to stare
at.
So.
I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to give away too much, but I sold cars to these people, and I've filled out their credit applications, and they all did okay. And so there's that too. You know what I mean?
So yeah, we do check your credit. We do do a background check. You do
I'm saying, as far as what they put on how much they made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not the best paying job in the world, but it is a rewarding job because you're dealing with people who are having the worst time of their life, and you're there to talk to them, like provide for them, for feed them, give them all their medical treatment, and then talk to them. Talk to them whenever they're having a bad day, and then try to, get them through it. Some of our best deputies on the road and detectives now started out in the detention center.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those.
That's a good
you
way
learn
to
how to talk to people in the detention center. So
did you have to go through the academy and all that too?
I did.
You did?
Early on when I got hired back 13 years ago, I started out as what they call Class 3 officer in South Carolina. It's basically I get to carry a gun and badge, but I can't stop anybody. I have to be with a Class 1 officer to do any of that kind of stuff. So, but 3 years ago, 3 years ago, the state law changed a few things about that whole Class 3s, Class 2s who were detention officers and Class 1s. There are a lot of cities and towns and little towns in South Carolina using Class 3 officers to do Class 1 work. So they changed it up a little bit, and they came to me and said, Trent, you want to go to the academy? They're changing some stuff up. You want to go to the academy? I was like, yes. I'm 46. I might break a hip or something, but I'll go. And so I got in some better shape, and I went, and I was like, it was me and two other people who were in the same boat, like from Gaffney. One was from Gaffney and one was from, Horry County or something.
Oh, okay.
They were in their 50s, and I was 46, and so we were the old
You were the
folks. The
young-
rest of them were like in their 20s. Everybody else was
Yeah.
in their 20s, late 20s, early 20s, and every time something would go wrong, we would just tell them, if y'all would just shut up, we wouldn't get in trouble. Y'all would just act like adults, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and so it was great. We had a good time. I'm still friends with a lot of those folks I went with to the academy, but it was great. I actually enjoyed doing that. It's a lot of work. I had to do the PIO thing while I was doing all that. And on top of that, I was going through a program called now it's called Executive Public Information Officer Program through FEMA.
Through FEMA?
Mm-hmm, Emergency Management Institute, what's called the National Emergency Management University or something like that in Maryland. And so it's a 3-week, 1-year program, and you have to go up there 3 weeks, and you have to do a research paper and all this stuff. And doing the academy and that on the same time, my hair went from black to gray real quick from the stress.
Wow.
But it was well worth it. 2022 was a very full year for me.
So the you did the executive one, right?
Yes.
You completed that?
It used to be called master, but there's a lot of people going out there, right? We'll take this class for $750 or $800, and you'll be a master PIO after that. And that's not what it is. This one is, you have to go through a whole chain of events to get to apply to be in this program and get accepted to the program and then pass the program. So it's a little bit more. So they changed it to executive public information officer.
So when something like a major emergency happens, how does that manage? Like, is there people telling you what to put out, or does that make not that like not what to put out. Like
Well, the folks of York County are really fortunate to have
Yeah.
some good communicators here. We have a lot. We have a team. We call it the Public Information Assistance Team, but I like to affectionately call it the Pit Crew.
Yeah,
It's all the public information officers from all over the county, from the county government to city governments to school district PIOs. We all are on a team, and then we have now expanded to the surrounding counties, Chester and Lancaster County. So we call it the Tri-County Alliance of Public Information Officers. So because a lot of things happen, PIOs need PIOs to help them.
Right.
We've had incidents in the past where I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, there was a shooting off Marshall Road in Rock Hill where a former NFL football player killed a family. A doctor, his wife, and his grandchildren, and the people working on his air conditioner. I remember that day. All this training I did. You know, I was just starting the Master PIO program, but I remember Michael Chavis, he's a lieutenant at Rock Hill PD, calling me up. So, hey man, you need help? No, I got it. I'm good, man. And then next thing you know, I'm like, crap, I wish Michael Chavis were here. After the fact, I was like, so I said, I learn from mistakes. That's all I do.
I mean,
I make a lot of them.
Can do, yeah.
I make a lot of them, and I say I'm never going to do it again. And so I have hopefully gotten everybody on board to come together as public information officers. And through FEMA, there's a process called a Joint Information System, where when there's a critical incident somewhere, we get everybody together so we're speaking through one voice. We're not, county saying
like
one
a
thing,
website
sheriff's office. It's everything. We're saying the same thing, and we're putting it out on all of our platforms. So there's no difference.
I'm saying, how do y'all communicate that? Like, what is that?
That's the system, and we do it in a joint information center. We do it together, whether it's over the phone, in person, virtual, but usually we're together, and we'll come together and make sure we're all on the same page, giving out the same information at the same time, so everybody can make right and informed decisions about their safety.
Yeah,
It's a thing. A lot of people in the county don't know we have it, and we all work fairly well together.
Because just kind of speaking about live, recent events and just watching how the information is coming out about that, it's just kind of got me curious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would hurricanes, for example. That's when you'll see it most. Hurricane Helene, Greenville County. Greenville County, their emergency management office in Greenville County, they had some help, but then they had been working like constantly for about a week, and they said, "Hey, could you send a PIO over to help us?" And I was like, and Chuck Haynes from the emergency management office, "Hey Trent, you want to deploy over to Greenville County?" I said, "Yes, I've been waiting on your phone call." So I went over there for that.
Wow.
And I was doing all their social media for about 3 days in the Greenville County Emergency Management Center over there for 3 days, and for all the Helene recovery stuff.
Wow, dude.
And then I did such a good job when they had the Table Rock fires a couple months ago. They said, "Trent, can you come over and help with the Table Rock fires?" And I said, "I'll be there in a couple hours." And so I gathered some stuff and went over there, and I stayed there about 3 days at the Table Rock fires. I could see at night the glow of the fire over the top of the mountain. But it was about out by the time I got there.
I think you probably got one of the coolest jobs that I've ever.
I don't know about that. There's a lot of guys and gals out on the road who are doing a whole lot more cool things than I do.
I mean, far as, I don't know. I mean, it seems like you're almost like a reporter, and
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it, but you're getting out like.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
It comes off as true information.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? There's no like media.
And the rumor mill is what we have to deal with most.
Right.
When there's something happening, people are going to say, "I saw it." On social media, it's like, "I seen it."
Yeah, it's when it comes from you.
Yeah,
it's
going to be right.
Right. Yeah.
It may.
You may be.
It's designed to flex and be, bendable and malleable.
Right, but you watch what you say. You're like, hey, well,
if I mess it up, it's going to be, I'll correct it right,
Yeah.
Not right away. See, and I'm glad you said that, because they have their purpose, but the media up north that I used to work for, media landscape is changing. We call it social media, but it's now media.
Right.
People are making their own videos. They're doing their own news. They're
Yeah.
doing everything. And so we try to, we're just doing our own news. Like, reporters still come and tell the story, and the news media still has a purpose to help us amplify our story.
Yeah, with
our
their,
information.
with their TV shows.
Because they have, they have the
Satellites.
the
yeah,
satellite, the broadcast signals. You know, they have a bigger band that we can reach a whole lot of people that maybe, you know, we don't have. So they still have their purpose, but we still work with the news, but they're not going to come down for the good news.
Yeah.
If it, I hate to say it, sometimes if it bleeds, it leads. They're going to come down for the blood and guts and the destruction and the corrects and the, you know, controversy, but they don't come down for a promotion ceremony and, you know, we're having for somebody, or a swearing in ceremony, or a graduation ceremony we're having for somebody, or just something, you know, something else. So, and I understand that they have a small amount of time to put in all the news from the entire region. Yeah. But here in York County, they don't give a poop about what happens in Charlotte, North Carolina. They want to know what's happening in their backyard. And we have our local media, like
that's why this podcast is
WRHI.
called What's Happening, by the way.
yeah. WRHI CN2 are really good friends of ours. We still do work with them really well. For almost 10 years now. We do a segment on their air called Juan and Wednesday, where we go in and talk about all the cases. We do things we need to identify or tell people about, and they've been really, really great about that. So they're good partners to work with. CN2's good partners to work with, and so we still have your local news, and I always tell people to stay hyper local on their news.
Right.
Follow local social media pages. Don't go follow, some
outsourced
somewhere that's not York County. So,
can you tell me maybe an example of one like major case that you've helped solve through social media?
Oh man,
or
put me on the spot.
Something like that.
I think.
I mean, it got to be major.
Oh yeah. I don't know if social media helped, but we always put it out. And the detective that helps me out with the history stuff, she's also our cold case person. This is the only one that pop off the top of my head, but we have always put out, like for years, we put out information about a case that happened in 1992 where a baby was killed and then put into the Catawba River. Like just put in a plastic bag and put into the Catawba River. We put information about that all the time. You know, it was like, hey, cold case, you have any information about this? Nothing ever turned up about it until, I don't think social media helped it out with, but that case was solved through DNA and then all the other things, and we were able to help out with that. I don't think we had any direct, I shouldn't use that example. I don't think we had any direct help.
I mean, but that was cool. You were there, right?
I mean, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but we've had. I mean, it's been. I assume I will say that some of our detectives come and say, "Man, I would not have gotten this lead if you didn't." Put this out."
Right, yeah.
May help, may not. It's throwing spaghetti against the wall.
Yeah.
Either do it or don't. You know, detectives are going to still work to find it.
Yeah.
I can't think of.
Because I'm sure.
one
I mean,
specific
you got
off
to
the top of my
think
head.
like the way that people are commenting on these like mug shots and stuff like that when people get locked up. I mean, you've got to see that there's, from what I've seen, like people that know them, they share the photo, and then they go into talking about it.
And Crime Stoppers of York County, it's a completely separate entity from the sheriff's office. They get a lot of anonymous tips from posts.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember. A couple of years ago, the organization got an award from a thing we did post on social media, and that crime was solved through it. I can't remember what it was or what it was about. I know they got a plaque for it.
Wow, yeah.
But it did happen.
Yeah,
so.
I'm sure, man. I mean, it's like anything else that happens. When it comes on Facebook, you get a good breakdown of what's going on for real. But yeah, so when did you get your start reporting from the beginning?
When did I get it?
Yeah, like when you started in Charlotte, where did you go to school? You said you went to Winthrop, and then you went to work in Charlotte.
Not well. No, that's not how it really went. So when I got out, I was in the Navy after high school.
In the Navy.
Yeah, I went joined the Navy straight out of high school. I was stationed in Japan for 3 years. I get out. I didn't stay in the Navy. I wish I would have. Go back and punch that 21-year-old kid in the face and say, "Stay in the Navy."
Stay in the Navy.
Or stay in the reserves at least. And then I get out and I come back home and I'm just figuring out what I want to do. And I knew some friends that lived in Columbia, so I went to Columbia. I went to school down there, and I remember sitting in my truck in the Midlands Tech parking lot, just hating going to class because it was just like, this is so dumb. It's like, what am I going to do? I mean, what am I going to do? And I was sitting there listening to the radio, and it was John Boy and Billy.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I want to do that. Yeah. I want to make people laugh.
I swear, dude, that's the same thing I thought. Like,
I was like, I want to do that. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I said, I want to do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time.
So I started the path to going to be. I mean, I thought about being a teacher because a good friend of mine, Joey Fowler, was a teacher, and he was going to USC at the time. And I was like, I did talk to him about it, and so I think I'm gonna go be a teacher. But then that happened, and then I went to Winthrop, got a degree in mass communication. I graduated. I worked at a whole bunch of part-time jobs at WBT Radio, NBC News Channel. I did some, just odds and ends, part-time stuff.
But still in that field.
Yeah, in the field. And then I was working at WBTV, where I eventually ended up working the studio cameras. And then they replaced me with a robot camera. And then I walked down the hall, got a part-time job again at WBT Radio. And then a friend of mine called me up and said, hey, they need a sports reporter / photographer at CN2 in Rock Hill. And I was like, yes, I'll take it. It's full-time, benefits, got it. I'm in. And so I went down there and did that. Between all that, I tried to sell radio advertising at 95.1 in Charlotte. I'm terrible at it. It's hard to tell, hey, buy this air.
Yeah,
It's hard to do that.
I thought about doing that at one point, but it's just I'd have to really start at the
very
bottom.
Difficult. It was a very difficult time, and so I did that for about maybe 6 months. Then went to CN2, and I worked at CN2 for about a year, and then I went to WBTV and worked overnight, midnight to 8 for about 3 years until they moved me to the daytime for about a couple months, and then I went to be the South Carolina bureau reporter.
That was
a lot, man.
That's a lot, dude. You're a freaking expert now.
Yeah, I mean, I that's why I always tell people. I mean, yeah, I'd love to have probably stayed in the Navy. Now looking back, I wish I would have stayed in the Navy, had all those benefits and everything of retirement, because I see all the guys I was in the Navy with who are retired now.
Yeah, like
living, like, man.
And what's crazy is
that guy retired.
If I would have went into the Army, I would retire I don't know, on my birthday. I'd be retired right now.
I just saw a thing. The highest ranking enlisted person in the Navy, the chief. Master Chief of the Navy, of the whole Navy, is I went to boot camp with. Yeah. I saw an article on it the other day. I was like, I could see why, because he was a jerk then, and I'm sure he's still a jerk now.
Dude, that's incredible.
But yeah.
Started right where you were.
Yeah. So, but I always say, everything I've done in my life, the Lord has it's like, all this sucks right now. This is going to be a test for you. Everything you do is going to make you better to be where I want you to be, and that is where I am right now.
Wow.
Whether, and that's right now.
And that's
right now, being in the seat telling you these stories.
Yeah.
Everything was
and I felt
why the Lord told me to do what I'm doing today.
And I felt like a divine kind of push, you know what I mean? I don't know, I've gotten things have sucked before, and I'm like, you know, if I believe in this and I do it this way, I'm, you know, I expect to get out of it, and then having faith and stuff, and all of a sudden you get rewarded, but it's 10 times better than you thought, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like you have a positive, if you think positively and have faith, positive things gonna happen. If you're negative or whatever,
positive attitude equals positive outcome.
Yeah, and if you're negative, there's no way you're possibly going to get a positive outcome.
And it's probably why I had a very negative outlook while I was in the Navy, and now I'm like, dang, I wish I was in the Navy again because I should have had a more positive attitude. But it's just the Lord said, here's the clay. I'm molding you up. This is just part of your life. It's going to make you a better person. When I got out of the Navy, my grandma said, Trent, you're like a man. You're a grown man now. What is going on? You went in a boy and came out as a man.
Wow.
That's what my grandma's saying. It's like, okay, cool. I'm going to go to college. And college was really hard for a guy who was older and all the people who were freshmen with him. I mean, I was only 4 years older than the freshman class I was in. And it's like, okay, I got to, mold myself into here. And it's just, everything is, and I'm still not done. The Lord's probably not finished with me. No, but I hope He'll let me stick around for another 12 to 13 or 14 years to, I have like 12 years to retirement, but I don't plan on retiring anytime soon.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. My wife she works for the school district in Rock Hill. And I hope
wow.
Yeah. So, she's got a little more time than I do to retirement. So, I mean, why do you want to retire?
Yeah,
it would help. I mean, some days you're like,
I'm gonna tell you, man. My folks just retired, and dude, my dad just pretty much went and sat on the couch and didn't go anywhere. No. That's crazy. And my mom is she stays busy. She don't ever sit down.
I think I'm too busy. My bones are starting to tell me I'm too busy.
Yeah.
Because I have chickens at home and I do all this stuff, and I'm open. I'm a wide open book, man. And my wife tells me I talk too much, and you give too much information, Trent. I was like, well, I mean, my life's an open book. You ask me a question, I'm going to give you the answer in the way I feel like it.
That's cool, man. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to cut it off here.
Man, I know it probably gave you way more information than you needed.
No, that was awesome, man. I really enjoy it. Honestly, dude, to me, if anything else, I walk out of here like I had a therapy session. I had a real conversation with somebody.
But I will tell people, please go follow us on our social media pages. We have a podcast. It's YCSO Behind the Badge. We're going to be starting it up again. I got one with the sheriff on Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to listen to that, it's YCSO.
Yeah, check it.
It's all on all the things that you've got, I'm sure.
Yes, and I'm going to tell everybody, Trent does a good job. I
appreciate that. Thank you.
When things are going on and he's involved with it, it is professional, but it's watchable. It's not like you're watching I don't know how to describe, like a mean sergeant police officer just being like
standing there like a trooper.
We're looking for a suspect. You know what I mean? I don't know, but you do.
I've always told when I was in the news, they said talk to people like you would talk to your grandma. Yeah, that's what I do. I talk to people like I talk to my grandma.
Talk to your people. God bless
my grandma. She's living life in heaven right now. But I mean, that's what I used to do. I always think, how am I going to talk to grandma about this?
Wow,
that's how I do it. And I just try to be open and honest with everybody. If I could tell you, I will, and if I can't, I can't. Yeah. It's just how things are. So
I remember that. I used to pick at my grandma. Yeah. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So watch us. We do some good live stuff. So watch that stuff.
Cool. All right, man.
A late night on a vacay. It's beat, so I'm heading to the room. A Nelly playing in the background, now the boys to give it till 2. We pick the spot with the crowd, we grab a few drinks and we hit the floor. A shorty popped up, grabbed me by the shirt and said, if she wants some more, and I said, and this she is, swinging my hands, singing and dancing, saying you the man. And this she was, now I got her hooked, asking about the hotel I booked in. Oh damn, I was reeling her in, she said, all my life, boy, where you been? There she is.